everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo, where we are once again back down in our franchise zoo in South America, Southern Vines. Today, I don't have any plans to work with any animals or habitats. I kind of want to take a break from the penthouse, so we won't be doing the education boards or the benches up there or anything. We are actually going to be starting the foundation for another area like this. We are going to be working on adding in a second guest plaza. When I first laid out the path going up top to the penthouse, I originally made like a rounded square in this area to remind myself that I wanted to put a guest plaza over here. I was looking at it off camera a little bit, and I thought that if I used the same shape as the original foundation, that it would just end up looking a bit too similar to the first one, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I want this to be a long-running series, and anything that I can do to, keep it fresh and to keep it interesting for me and for you is something that I want to do. So I deleted that, and I added in this curved path that I thought could lend itself to a pretty interesting food and drink pathway. And we definitely need to get it done, because if we go down here to look at the guest needs, they need drink shops really badly. They could do with some food shops. Their toilet needs are totally met. They don't need that many toilets. Their energy could do with a bit of a boost. So the guests have stuff that they need taken care of. I've got a couple ideas. I'm going to play with them a little bit. I think I'm going to go into a time lapse and see what we can get out of it. I'm not going into it with a specific idea like I normally do, so we will see what comes of it. We have something laid down. I definitely struggled with this. It is a bit easier to get something down when you go in with a specific idea, but we're gonna make it work. It'll be all right. So I smoothed out all of the corners. I didn't want any hard edges because I wanted it to just be like they threw a bunch of sand down and just kind of marked it off because, you know, you can't just walk everywhere in a zoo. I marked out some places to remind myself to plant like some trees to give this area even more shade. And just to kind of break up just, woo, hello. Just to break up that like really boring flat view. But I think it's a really good start. I think it gives us enough to work with, that we can make something from it. I do really like the groupings of, you know, 3, 4 tables. I think that looks cool. This I'm especially surprised by. It's not at all what I thought I was going to end up doing, but I really like it. We've got drinks, we've got food, and then right in the middle you've got the mementos. The hat's fantastic, I think. And just with looking at how, well, it's not busy right now, but looking at how busy this stuff can get, I think it's pretty good to have a lot of walking space. And obviously we're going to put some of the new benches in and all of that stuff, surrounded by trees. You know what? Let's put down some seating. We know that the guests need it. It's an easy thing to do, and it's just one more thing that we can get in this area to get a better feel of what it's going to be like. So we will put down some of the East Asia benches, and let's do them. What's a good area? This one definitely right out after the ramp. There we go. And then along the back would be cool. Like, you know, like just like if you're waiting for your food, you can come over here and take a break. I think that works. And then we'll just go into my blueprints right here, and we'll get the South America fence cover. That's supposed to say bench cover. Bench not included. Oh, I feel like I kind of feel like I'm just almost cussing at you guys every time I say that. This is kind of funny because you want to get it as close as possible to the actual seat, so that the guests glitch through as little as possible. So like I would just go all the way down and then just bring it up just until it covers it. And then we just gotta make sure that none of the stone is peeking through. It looks like it's not. And they do sink into the ground. I thought about possibly trying to do some sort of border along the bottom, but I don't know if I really care. Like it still looks stable. It still looks sturdy. I think we're just gonna keep it because this was it took me an hour and a half to make this seat cover. Okay, well, so the whole hour and a half wasn't spent on this specific idea. I had a couple other ones that I was you know, like playing around with. I thought about making a seat out of the temple ruins, getting something cool with stone, and then I was like, oh well, maybe I can, you know, add bamboo to the stone, so you know, so you're not sitting on rock, you got something a little bit better, even though bamboo is also hard. But nothing was really coming together with that. And I didn't really want just plain stone benches. So I just kind of ran with the bamboo idea. And I think honestly, I'm pretty proud of it. I think they look super cool. But definitely something that I don't want to keep messing with. Therefore, it's just gonna be like raw bamboo touching the ground. At least for a while. Maybe I will one day get a hankering and change it up. But today is not that day. And that's okay. All right, so there are those 4. We could maybe put... No, I'm not going to do anything more with this until we get the trees. And actually, that can be something that we do right here. We can just go ahead and do that right now. Let's see, South Central America. Tropical, you know the deal. That's what we're doing. That is what we're doing with this zoo. So the Brazil nut trees are awesome, but they are huge. Yeah, like the Brazil nut trees are just a bit too tall. These trees I really like, but they're so skinny. These are really short. Whoa, they're not short, they're just fat. Oh, that's massive. Wow. Oh, these are not the trees I thought they were. What are these, Wimba? Whoa. Oh, these are super cool. Why have I never seen these before? Wow, that is a tree. I like that. That's cute. I love the tamarind trees. I think they're super cool. The strangler fig tree. That might be what we go with. And that, yeah, because it's got like a little bit of a curve. It's pretty interesting. But it's not super tall. I think that might be our guy. Let's put him in there, and then we'll put in that third one over, and we'll see. Okay, that's coming together, but I think the strangler fig is not quite fitting of that. What if, oh, we might just do palm trees and then mix in some other stuff. Let's get the real short guy over here because we have a lot of space in that middle area where its leaves would hit. It's fronds, it's palm fronds. This guy can fit in here pretty well. A little bit. We could bring him down like he was a bush. Sorry, tree. You've been demoted to bush. Yeah, just filling in, trying to fill in all of the different heights that have negative space. Negative space definitely isn't always bad. But in an area like this, I definitely want to break up that line of sight. Since looking at just a whole clump of tables and umbrellas is not quite so interesting. I don't really like it, so. And then we need some stuff down at the bottom a bit more, like a Swiss cheese plant. Monstera Deliciosa. We need stuff real low still. What about this? Too big? No. I think that works. There we go. We will probably find something that looks like these posts that come with the path and put a little circle around each of these so it looks like people can't just walk right through them. I think that would be pretty cool. But I am going to I'm gonna finish up these plants, put in, you know, that little log barrier, and we'll be back to see where we want to go from there. All right, so we have a little miniature jungle here at the second guest plaza. So let's get in there. Let's pause this. I was too late. Oh dear. Well, let's just actually look at, I don't know if this is something new that was released in one of the new updates, or if it's something I just never noticed before. But take a look at this. You can see potential mates, potential inbreeding, or unable to mate, whether they're infertile or on contraceptives. So this is super cool. So all of these red ones, that's not good. But see, this one, became blue because this guy was apparently the only one that she could have inbred with. And of course, that's the one, you know, that happened, but it's okay. So then you just go through and you click on the red ones and you see who's left after you put any of the red ones on contraceptives. Because you may be in a situation where all of the animals that you have in a habitat are related. And then if that's the case, if you are able to just add in new animals, then that's awesome. Or if it's a situation where you don't have enough room or they're at their group size, that you then have to, you know, release some of them to the wild and then bring in new animals. But yeah, if we just take a look, everyone should be pretty good. The llamas are not, actually. That is something that we can figure out at a later date. Because right now, at a later date, at a later time, maybe later on in this episode, or maybe off camera or whatever it is. But let's take a look at what I got finished on the picnic area of the plaza. So hang on, let's see, let's see, what is guest height? So they see this, which I think is a great view. So let's see, if we were sitting at this table, this would be what we saw. Looks super cool. You can see the shops. You can see people walking by. We may cover this up a little bit more, but I don't mind like the window inside. The other tables are obscured fairly well, like the other groups. And it just looks super cool. Whoa. Hello. Goodbye. What I want to do is add in some like fun little things to look at amongst the trees and the bushes. Let's go down here and let's take a look at the statues. Just statue. So with that last update that came out, the career modes, career and timed, I think, now had 3 statues that you could gain from it based on whether you got a bronze, silver, or gold, which means that we have statues of animals in a lot of different colors. And I think for this area, I really, really like the bronze. So I think it would be cool if we added in the statues of some of the animals that we have or know that we are going to have eventually into the trees and stuff to look at while they're sitting down with their food. I think it could be really cool. So let's see. So let's set everyone up. We have the tapir. We have a bison. I don't know if we're going to be using that. Ooh, we got babirusa. Ooh, that's a nice small one. We have the orangutan, definitely going to be using that guy. Oh, a pangolin. Giant panda. Got a flamingo. Ooh, iguana, absolutely. Oh, it's a little baby giraffe. That's adorable. Oh my gosh. Out of these, I definitely want to use the snake, the iguana, the orangutan. I think we should use the tapir because that was one of the first animals we got. And let's see, the macaque is really good. The babirusa and the pangolin is super cute. Look how he's standing up. And the babirusa is pretty cool. It's one of the new animals. I'm sure I'm gonna get it in the zoo. I haven't actually gotten this animal in any zoo other than the timed scenario that came with that update. So I'd love to bring some of those guys in here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these 7 statues they're a really good start. And I think I have the perfect spot for the orangutan, maybe? So this fallen tree was the last thing that I placed down for the most part. And as soon as I placed it and I saw like its roots, I was like, oh, a statue would be really cool there. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to wait until I'm back recording again so we can do it together, because I just really love the idea. Yeah, that is pretty sweet. I think that's cool, because let's see, because if you're at a table, oh, that's awesome. And then these statues are going to give us really great focal points for when we come in with lighting, which is really helpful. Because while as fun as it is to light up the trees and see what they look like, you know, lit up from above or below, it will be good to have something a little bit more unique, I guess, a little bit different to light up and to focus on. Something that the zoo in my hometown does is they'll have little, like, let's just say they have a really tiny, like, frog statue right there. So then, you know, you have to stand right here, and there will be a little, like, just a little circular piece of metal on a post that you can look through, and you have to find that statue. You know, and it's a statue of, you know, an actual animal hiding how that animal really would. And it's pretty hard to find them sometimes. I'm not going to be able to get that guy back out. So I think that could be a cool thing to do here. That's kind of what I'm going for. You know, like, some of them can be real obvious, but I want others to kind of be hidden a little bit, like they're walking through the underbrush. Let's see. I gotta move over to the other side and get some things over here. Ooh, he could maybe be good right in here. What do we think about that? And we can always go in and add in, you know, some more textured terrain, or add in some rocks or more plants. What does that look like? So if you're in here, you just see kind of monkey butt. And then if you're over here, that's pretty cool. He's coming for your food. Look at that. Ooh. Yes. Oh, right when you walk in. That's some of these are the kinds of statues that you'd see, and it, you know, you'd kind of like jump, or you'd get like a little tiny rush of adrenaline before your brain caught up to you and, you know, realized that it wasn't an actual animal staring at you. Let's see, now the snake. We gotta get the snake in. I love the snake. I love snakes. There we go. So we got 3 on that side, 1 over there, 1 here, 2 over there. Just one last look. Are there any more that we want to add in? Giraffe is pretty cool, and we did have this area that was kind of empty. Then that fills in the area a little bit, and it gives us another statue other than the macaque that is looking away from the picnic area. I think that's pretty cool. I wish there was a larger giraffe statue too, so you could have, like, you know, mama and baby. What if we take that giraffe out, replace it with a rhino since he's a bit chunkier, and then get the giraffe again and put him over here. I'll plop that little guy in there. And take a step back. I like it. Let's go back down in here. Yep, and you can see that little guy. You can see just a little bit. You can see that guy. I think it's cool. I think it just adds, a little something. You know, you're not always gonna see them, but when you do, it's cool. It's a nice touch. All right, so that is the picnic table part of our guest plaza all done for the most part. I'll probably go in and throw some rocks in, add some lighting to highlight these statues that we did for sure. Um, Maybe I'll throw in some more plants just to fill up some of that empty space if it looks like it needs it. But I am pleasantly surprised with how quickly we got part of this plaza actually finished. I'm gonna say we got half of it done, simply because the guest the picnic table part is about half of the land size that I planned out for this. Um, but I definitely think that the buildings are going to take a little bit longer just because that stuff is a little bit more tedious sometimes. I think the first thing that I'm going to do next episode is try to figure out what kind of shell we want to put on the merchandise building in the center of the plaza, since it is such a weird location and like the path is really close to it. I have a feeling that we will definitely be covering up the path with some of the building materials, and that should work just fine. I don't think there should be a problem with that. But that is all the time that I have for this episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Hot Snake, and I will catch you in the next episode of the lovely Southern Vines Zoo.